Recorded in just 12 days in 1982, Van Halen's fifth album features 5 cover versions, 3 instrumentals, and even throws in the Roy Rogers theme song for good measure. So it's easy to understand how this could be dismissed by some people as mere filler, a stopgap album from a band suffering from road burnout blues and a record company desperate for more product. But still, you'll have to pry my cold, deaf ears away from the stereo if you ever want to get your hands on my copy. It's absolute killer. Now, I'm no Van Halen junkie. This is the only album of theirs I still own. I used to have the first album because I loved Ice Cream Man and You Really Got Me. And I had Women and Children first because I really dug the song Could This Be Magic? So that gives you a handle on where my allegiances lie with Van Halen. But still, this is an amazing album. And is it just me, or are there other people out there who think it's their favorite Van Halen album as well? And what makes it so special? Let's find out. Let's get the party started with Where Have All the Good Times Gone? A song originally recorded and released by the Kinks. And I sort of feel after doing my Pretenders 1v2 face-off video that I'm caught in a bit of Ray Davies inertia here. But no inertia from Van Halen. It starts from the beginning like a runaway train and the party gets started. An absolutely awesome version. It's a statement of yearning and need for all the good times to return. And it works brilliantly. I absolutely adore Eddie Van Halen's little chink, the metallic chink that he gets on the guitar after the first line of every verse, and the guitar solo takes it off into a new dimension. A brilliant way to start the album, and then it's followed by Hang 'em High, getting that cowboy-themed motif going immediately. This is probably my favorite song on the album, and it holds the record in my house of being the song that's been played loudest on my stereo. And that was 3 o'clock in the morning. I turned it up really loud to make sure the party just kicked on a gear. And we only realized it was super loud when I think we felt that the windows were starting to shake. Sorry to my neighbors for that one, but you know, they often put up with my indiscretions and I've got the best neighbors in the world. Still, this is an incredible song. I love the guitar solo. I love the finger tapping that's going on, and special mention to Michael Anthony's bass line. Wow, all the way through it, he's just adding these little bits of color, particularly in the solo, where the interplay between Eddie and Michael and Alex on the drums is just awesome. Absolutely rockin' song that kicks from start to finish. It never lets go. It reminds me a lot of Jane's Addiction's opening track Stop from Ritual D Lo Habitual. But of course, the irony is that that song does stop in the middle and Van Halen's doesn't. It's a killer song from start to finish, and one which I absolutely adore. That's followed by Cathedral, in which Eddie gives us this masterclass on volume swells and note tapping. So called, I believe, Cathedral because it has that amazing holy spaciousness, like the building of a cathedral. And it definitely has a holy religiosity to it. You can just spend hours immersed in this very, very short instrumental and never be disappointed. And then that moves on to Secrets, which is bringing things down or keeping things down a little bit here. And it's a beautiful, mournful sort of pop song, which has a sort of ballady type effect on me. I quite like the lyrics here, and if I can read to you from what they are. She ain't waiting till she gets older. Her feet are making tracks in the winter snow. She got a rainbow that touches her shoulder. She be headed where the thunder rolls. She got rhythm. She got the rhythm of the road. And one gets the feeling that this is definitely written from life experience on the road. And it's a beautiful song to a beautiful type or image of woman. The guitar solo is just, once again, a rock classic for mine. Van Halen just explodes, Eddie that is, explodes out of the gate when he gets his opportunity here. And once again, the tapping and the bending, it's incendiary and it's revolutionary and it's so innovative. Plenty to really enjoy in both of these songs. Wonderful, wonderful music. Next up is the second of the instrumentals, Intruder. And this is a dark, brooding, moody instrumental. It's dangerous. It's set up by Alex and Michael on the rhythm section. And I love what they're doing here. I particularly, again, love what Michael Anthony's playing in terms of syncopating against the beat. And then Eddie coaxes these otherworldly sounds from his guitar. It's all gnarly and, as I said, dangerous. And you really get the sense of somebody who's out to do no good intruding upon a house, or it's almost devilish in many ways. I don't know how he does it, but there's that metallic sound feedbacking all the way through. And then that segues seamlessly into Oh Pretty Woman, the old Roy Orbison song. Um, Now they do a really passable version of this, and I can understand them putting on another classic song because everybody's going to know it and the party's going to kick off. But I really don't care if I never hear that middle eight again, and it's not their fault. It's the original version. Apparently, when they first were going to do a stopgap song to keep the record company at bay, David Lee Roth suggested "Dancing in the Streets," and Eddie turned around and said, "No, let's do this song." And I kind of get why. Um, and they chucked it out, and of course it was a hit. And then that's where the pressure came on for them to actually go into the studio to record the album itself. So something really great did come out of recording this song, and that was Diver Down, done in 12 days. And particularly with Intruder, you can just hear the band sort of jamming, looking around for ideas, and all of a sudden they just lock into that groove with Alex and Michael, and Eddie just soars over the top of it. So wonderful music, and that's the end of side one. It seemed to go so quickly, but let's move on to side two. The aforementioned Dancing in the Streets kicks off this side, and it's a song that I don't know, like I really need to ever hear again. I think Martha and the Vandellas did a pretty damn good job the first time around, but at least there's some innovation here because Eddie starts off, and you could swear there's a synthesizer going on here, but apparently it's him with his guitar pick going up and down the strings through an echoplex, and you got some wah guitar going on there, and it's a really funky groove that really gets that party atmosphere kicked off on the second side. Again, I don't know whether I need to hear it again, and maybe in terms of the 6 degrees of separation, this is a little bit too close to that Mick Jagger, David Bowie version, which I thought was execrable, but still, play it loud, and you're not going to go away disappointed, that's for sure. That takes us into the third instrumental on the album, the intro to Little Guitars, or Little Guitars Intro. And if we hadn't have had enough showcasing of Eddie's talent so far, we get it here when he pulls out the classical and starts playing flamenco music inspired by Carlos Montoya. It's unbelievable to realize how difficult this was. And I remember once going to see the almighty guitarist Steve Morse play, and he just finished with his band playing Too Many Notes, which to me is a textbook on what a guitar is possible about. And then once that song was finished, he said, "And now I'm going to do something really difficult." And he pulled out a classical guitar and started playing some classical music. And it was just like one of those jaw dropping, gobsmacking moments. And Eddie just astounds here with his playing. That takes us into the song Little Guitars, which is, it's a bit bland to tell you the truth. It never really takes off for me. Still, great song. It segues beautifully for the rest of the album, and it's not out of place at all. And I really like the lyric that, which is, "When I see you, all your little guitars sing to me, the senorita." And then that takes us into a moment where the music just drops down a tad, and Eddie's solo here really explodes into the universe, which you wouldn't expect for such a sort of down tempo, low mood song, but it's a thing of rare beauty and is definitely worth the price of admission into Little Guitars, that's for sure. I love the next track. It's where their sense of humor really comes through and shines. And we move into the cowboy infused style of Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now. This is a great shuffling sort of country blues that moves along and tells a really great story along the way about Big Bad Bill turning into Sweet William. It's fun. It can't be underestimated how much fun this album is. It's a party album, but yeah, it's really cool and it gets a smile on your face. I love the lines, "Big Bad Bill don't fight anymore. No, he don't. He's doing the dishes and mopping up that floor. Yes, he is. Well, he used to go out drinking, looking for a fight. Now we got to see that sweet woman every night. Big Bad Bill is Sweet William now." And I think so many people can relate to this, and and in a great way, that a partner can really change you and turn you into something, I think, better. And I know that's happened in my life where, I've been going out drinking and then all of a sudden I've been saying no because I want to spend time with my woman. It's a beautiful thing. And it was also recorded in part to be able to get the Van Halen's father, Jan, to play clarinet on it. And he acquits himself most admirably. My God, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree, or the tree doesn't fall far from the fruit in this case. Wonderful solo playing on the clarinet. Just a great song and so much fun. Let's never forget how fun this album is. You corner my dog, it don't let you pass. Got a bad little woman gonna bite your ass. Mm-mm-mm. Here we go. A little bit more of that sort of cowboy influence here right at the start, or sort of that down home bluesy sort of feel. And then the band just absolutely explodes on the full bug, and we get the full treatment here. The band is just rocking from start to finish, and we go back to that sort of incredibly high, intense energy that we had early on with Hang 'em High. This song just is incredibly brilliant until and powerful. It's just like that freight train again, out of control. It's like a plane just soaring through the air, breaking the speed of sound. Absolutely amazing. Do planes break the speed of sound? I don't know. Somebody who's more gifted scientifically will let me know. And then it comes back down into that intro section again, and then it takes off with absolutely mind melting, gnarly, hardcore solo from Eddie, the bass playing and the from Michael, and the drums from Alex just accentuate it perfectly. It's a thing of sheer brilliance and sheer beauty, and it goes further when Dave, I would assume, pulls out the harmonica and lets rip from there. And it's, for me, one of the few occasions where I really dig harmonica playing on music. What a brilliant way to finish the album. If only that was the way you were going to finish the album. But no, we've got to have that Roy Rogers theme song. And it's Happy Trails. Boom, ba deo, boom, ba deo, boom, ba deo. And it's just, again, returning to that sense of fun. What a joyous way it is to take out the album. Having said that, it's only my second favorite version of this song, the first being the closer from Quicksilver Messenger Services Happy Trails album. But still, from start to finish, this album is an absolute joy, and a brilliant way to finish with the Happy Trails theme song. A perfect choice, in fact. Now, it's not essential to find fault with an album, although some reviewers think that that is their job. I mean, Rolling Stone, for example, gave the album 2 stars out of 5. Now, okay, reviewing is their job, they're professionals, but still, 2 stars? I mean, what do they know? But I have found fault with this album, and it's something that I can take Van Halen to task on, and that is the track listing on the back cover. I mean, what's with that? The songs are in the wrong order. Still, great shots of the band in concert. And then when they're taking their sort of metaphorical curtain call at the end in front of that stadium, wow. One of my great compadres, Robo Dude, I think saw them at the Day in the Green in 1982 or something like that. That would have been something to behold. But this album is one of my most played albums of all time, and it easily slips on in the car, at a party, whenever. It doesn't really matter. Over the years, it's given me so much pleasure. And if music of any size, shape, or form gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? Anyway, as an added bonus, unfortunately, we heard not so long ago about the passing of Eddie Van Halen, and I recorded a song which you can see the link here to called EV, which was my instrumental mourning our loss of him. Now, it doesn't sound like Van Halen, but if you look on the back wall, I think I used 3 of the guitars up here. just to make sure that I sort of got everything I could out of it. And I hope you enjoy the spirit in which it's intended, because it certainly means quite a lot to me. Anyway, it's been an absolute blast. Until next time, all the best. Hope you're doing well, and bye now.